I'd like to call the regular Board of Education meeting for March 17th, 2025 for East China School District to order. Can we please stand for a moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, if there's anybody that would like to speak tonight, please hand Tiffany your card and we'll make sure that you get the opportunity. Our first item is items of interest, recognition, and inquiry. Board of Education members?
Yeah, I have one thing. I'd just like to mention the wrestling team. St. Clair wrestling team this year, I'd like to just mention a few things. The team as a whole was an academic all-state team. That's a pretty impressive feat. We had 3 academic all-state wrestlers, David Alley, Nate Postma, and Christian Haslam, which is pretty impressive to be not only an academic all-state kid, but to go to Ford Field, all the work you have to put in to do that, shows those kids work very hard in school. I think Nate Postman may be the top kid in the class. I think he has a 4.2 GPA. So to be able to compete at an all-state level and have that kind of a GPA is pretty impressive. We also had 2 other state qualifying kids in Caleb Karadich and Zachary Drugach. Zachary Drugach was a state placer this year. He finished 7th in the state. And then we had St. Clair High School's first ever state champion in Christian Haslam. So I just wanted to mention that. Thought it was a pretty big deal.
Nicely done. I'd just like to welcome Sean to the board. Thanks for joining. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Anyone else? Suzanne?
I'm all set, thank you.
All right. The next item is response to community input questions. These are fairly long, so bear with me. So the first question, for what specific reason was law enforcement presence requested in previous board meetings? The decision to request law enforcement was a precautionary measure aiming to preserve the safety of attendees, school board members, and staff while also ensuring the public participation in the meeting could occur without interference or disruption. It was intended to provide a sense of security and facilitate the smooth operation of the meeting. Question number 2. Was there any cost to the school district or taxpayers of this community for this service? Yes, there was a cost to the district, $76 an hour. For what specific reasons, question number 3, for what specific reasons did the school board have the presence of legal counsel and or attorney during previous school board meetings? The meeting was a public meeting, and just as any member of the public is welcome to attend, legal counsel is likewise welcome. We requested that he attend in order to hear firsthand comments from the public. Number 4, what cost was there to the school district or community for taxpayers for this? The district pays for general legal counsel services. This is a school district cost. Number 5, allegations have been made that the school district had hired multiple attorneys and that some law firms and or specific attorneys had refused to work with the East China School District and or Superintendent Sabula. What truth is there in regard to these allegations? There is absolutely no truth to these allegations. And then there's one asking if the allegations are true, but they're not, so we'll move on. A recent statement made by East China School District and Superintendent Sabula implied that the school district was not aware of any inappropriate behavior by former school district employee Tim Heigl. Following this statement, many students, former students, family members, and community members came forward stating that Tim Heigl's action and behavior had been reported to district faculty, including Ron Miller, during Tim Heigl's time of employment. Is the Board of Education and/or Superintendent Sybula denying that allegations against Tim Heigl had been reported during this time? The district cannot comment on matters involving potential litigation. In the East China School District, the Board of Education nor Superintendent Sybula are denying these claims. What specific actions were taken to conduct an investigation into these allegations? As the district has communicated, it plans to continue to investigate and monitor any allegations that impact the district. And we encourage anyone with information to please reach out to Michigan State Police or OK to Say. Number 9, were law enforcement and/or legal counsel utilized for this matter? Yes, and legal counsel continues to be involved. If there was no investigation, for what reasons was an investigation not conducted? The investigation is ongoing as the district monitors the situation and receives information. Does the school board have the authority and/or ability to fire, terminate, or the contract of the superintendent? The superintendent is employed under a contract that outlines the terms of their employment, including job responsibilities, performance expectations, and conditions under which the contract can be terminated. While the school board does have the authority to terminate the superintendent's contract, it must follow procedures set out in the superintendent's employment agreement and comply with relevant laws, ensuring fairness and due process. The board supports the superintendent and staff. The safety of our students and their education are priorities for this district. There have been numerous improvements over the past several years, such as passing the bond, upgrading IT, Chromebooks for all students, established curriculum director, safety director, social workers, interventionists, professional development platforms, active shooter training, safety assessments, best SAT scores in St. Clair County at Marine City High School, positioned to offer more trades and AP decisions, brought in a lot of young talented potential for the future, brought in bus drivers and custodians, and initiated Young Fives. Number 12, do any members of the Board of Education or the district superintendent have legal authority to interrupt or gavel the free speech of community members during public comment? The board president has the duty to ensure the board policy 2504 is followed. No member of the public is prohibited from exercising their First Amendment rights. Although there have been situations where speakers have been reminded they need to comply with board policy 2504. There has not been a situation where a member of the public was prohibited from speaking during public comment. What specific law or statutes give any of the school board or superintendent this authority? Board policy 2504 and related cases allow for management of public comment within applicable law. Does the East China School District Board of Education not find it inappropriate for a district employee to use public comment time to address the community rather than the board, as District Security Director Dave Kennedy did during previous board meetings? Mr. Kennedy, as a member of the public, is permitted to address the board. Number 15, what specific actions are taken and/or have been taken by East China School District in regard to allegations made by students, former students, and community members of Security Director Dave Kennedy inappropriately touching, searching, and/or questioning students? The district investigates all allegations and complaints. The district is investigating and monitoring the situation. The district cannot comment further on matters involving potential litigation at this time. If there is no investigation, I answered the question, 16 with 15. Number 17, has any formal investigation of alleged misconduct of Marine City football coach Darren Lesson taking place? If so, what specific actions have been taken and what further actions will be taken? If not, does East China School District have any valid reason as to why allegations against Coach Lesson have not been taken seriously? An investigation was completed on this personnel issue. After investigating the situation and interviewing those associated with the program, the allegations were not substantiated. The coach was instructed to and did attend MHSAA training. Additionally, a coaching review process was instituted to better monitor the performance of coaches. It has been reported that Superintendent Sybula has advised ECSD staff that the organization that provided the service of Tim Heigl as a substitute teacher, Wayne State University, was responsible for any reporting of misconduct. What truth is there to this report? Why would East China School District not have taken responsibility at a time that students were in the care of a potentially dangerous individual? What was said is that Tim Heigl was hired as a substitute teacher in 2017 through PCMI subservice, which was responsible for conducting background checks. It also stated that Tim Heigl underwent fingerprinting, as all school employees are required to do, and he was reported on REP. Number 19. It has been reported that Superintendent Sybula has stated that Tim Heigl's employment status was long-term sub. It has also been reported that Tim Heigl was listed as a new teacher in 2019 welcome back letter, and he was also listed on the teacher bargaining unit seniority list. What truth is there to these reports? What was the official status of Tim Heigl as an East China School District employee? Tim Heigl was hired through PCM subservice in December 2017. For 2018-2019 school year, the district obtained a long-term sub permit that is issued through the state of Michigan. He was listed on the bargaining unit seniority list as Mr. Heigl was working toward completing his teaching certification. He did not receive a teaching certificate by the end of 2019 school year and therefore was not interviewed for the position. I have a few more. Is there a process in place for constituents of East China School District to remove some all members of the school board before the end of their term? You must have a valid reason for recalling a school board member. In Michigan, recall petitions can be filed for any elected official if they have committed an act of misconduct, negligence, or if their actions are not in line with the law of their duties. What would this process entail and how can it be initiated? A petition process. You need to draft a recall petition that clearly states the reason for the recall. The petition should specify the actions, behaviors to justify the recall, and you would file that with the county clerk. And then there's two other questions. At what point would the state of Michigan have to step in? And how would one begin the process requesting for the state of Michigan to intervene on behalf of the community? My personal feeling on that is it's legal advice, and I just at the moment cannot give it. So those are the questions that we had from the past week or so. So our next item is academic spotlight. Belle River Elementary, Robin Smith Hare, principal, March is reading month. One school, one book, Nims Island.
Where's Winnie? Where's Winnie? She's here. She's back there. She always steals the spotlight. Good evening, Superintendent Sibula, President Westrick, and members of the school board. Tonight, we are excited to highlight what March is all about at Belle River Elementary. It's been a very busy few weeks at the river, we call it. On the announcements and stuff, we always say to have a good day at the river. So that's just a nickname we've given Belle River. Just last week, we successfully completed our Title I audit. We are very proud and happy to have completed that process. It was a lengthy process, but we met all expectations and worked really hard to fulfill that duty and task, and along with Mr. Walling, so it was quite the process. We also hosted kindergarten registration last week and welcomed our incoming class of 2038. We really enjoyed meeting our incoming sailors. They always leave us with a smile, and they leave with a special goodie bag filled with fun activities and books to help get them ready for the fall, even though they often ask if they can come tomorrow. So, tonight, I'm joined by an amazing team, some up here to help me present, many of them there here to support us. I'm very fortunate to be part of the Belle River team. To help me present tonight on what March looks like at the river is first grade teacher Julie Gunderson, second grade teacher Mercedes Thomas, fourth grade teachers Erin Weber and Sarah Sam, and student teacher and MTSS specialist April Schrader. And the rest of our crew that's over there. All right. So March at Belle River is all about one school, one book. We embrace this by, our motto there is we are one team. And together, everyone achieves more. So one school, one book promotes a shared reading experience. Everyone in our building, every student, their families, and the whole staff read the same book, fostering a sense of community and shared experience across the school. So everyone, including our custodians, receive a copy of the book so that we can all be on the same page with our students. It enhances literacy skills, encourages family engagement. It brings a lot of excitement to our building. The kids are excited, the families are excited. We give them lots of opportunities to engage in the book together. And you'll see a few more of the ways we do that throughout the presentation. It builds a unified school culture. It stimulates critical thinking and increases student motivation.
These are pictures of our bulletin board blitz that we had at Belle River. Was it the 28th of February? It was a Friday night after school, and teachers stayed after, and not just teachers. We had parapros and Winnie and our secretaries in the office, our office staff, everybody who could stayed and put up all these phenomenal bulletin boards around the building to get the kids excited about the book that they did not know was going to be the next day revealed. So that was a lot of fun, and it still looks amazing. I got a click?
Yeah, we got it. There you go.
Thank you. I was looking for a computer, but I didn't see it.
Click too.
Okay. The next day, on March 1st, was our book title reveal, and many, many hands helped to wrap each book and glue on a little, what looks like a treasure map on the cover. And each student left school on Friday, the 28th, with their book wrapped, and we're not supposed to open it until they got home to kick off March's Reading Month. And we have 345 students, so there was a lot of wrapping going on, and I did not help with that. But they did a great job, and they looked really cool. This is a little snippet of a soundbite of one of our kiddos reading the cover and getting excited at home about getting ready to open.
I want to sail into and adventures with us.
And this is that little guy opening up his book.
Go ahead and open it, see what it is. Oop, the backside, what is it? I want to know.
And he is the cutest little thing.
Go ahead and open it, see what it is.
There we go, right? Next.
So when they opened up this, they each got an envelope with a letter inside announcing what the book is and how we're going to go about it for the next month. As you can see, there's a calendar up there too, stating which day they're specifically supposed to read a chapter. So when they were able to open it up, they knew exactly what to read it, what day, because more information on that will be coming up soon. But there was a specific reason why they needed to read each chapter a day. When it came to coming in Monday morning after they opened up their envelope and they saw what the book surprise was, they got to come into our school looking like this. Each one of our bulletin boards was picked of a specific location from the book itself. So Nim Island, she had different places that she would do all these different activities at. So we put each activity as a bulletin board in a different area. So they got to come in and make these relations to different things as they read it throughout the month. So you can see a lot of this is the ocean up here. We have the Turtle Cove, the whole map that was designed by our one of our kindergarten teachers up there too. She hand drew that. A lot of different aspects. You can see some more up here too. We had hissing stones where she makes pancakes on these steaming rocks. We have I'm blanking on the word. Volcano, there we go. The volcano where she falls and she hurts herself and she doesn't know what to do and she reaches out for help to get through. So all these connections of areas that the kids can honestly relate to when they come in and they read it too.
So Mrs. Herr will send out a s'mores newsletter, and in this newsletter they have links to every chapter. So our students who need a little extra support, all of our staff took a chapter and we recorded ourselves reading that chapter, so the students had access to it to use their listening comprehension skills. So we actually have a little snippet of that soundbite as well.
Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4,
Chapter 5, Chapter 6,
Chapter 7,
Chapter 8,
Chapter 9,
Chapter 10.
So all of the chapters were read by different staff members, which was great. And the students got so excited to come in and be like, was that you? I think that was, so-and-so. So that was really awesome that we have a staff that was willing to do that as well. And then, as April had alluded to, the students read the chapter, and then the next day they get to come in, and over the daily announcements, there is a question about that chapter that they read. And so all of us have little sheets, and they get to write their answer to it, and they get turned in, and our PTO has done an amazing job, and they've purchased a bunch of different prizes based on the theme of our book. And so students who answer correctly get drawn and they get to come down and choose their prize, which is very exciting for everyone.
So in order to make our team an all-inclusive team, one thing that we decided to do as a staff was to make shirts for everybody. So a group of our amazing teachers got together and designed and made shirts for every single staff member who chose to have one, which was the majority of the staff, if not everybody. And here's you can see all of the pictures of us wearing them with the kids. Even Miss Winnie got a little bandana with Nim's Island on it. And then to bring the kids into it, we also made student-sized shirts and a couple bags and hats that all come out of the book. And we have a Nim's Island raffle where they can purchase a scratch-off ticket for $1. And if their scratch-off ticket is a winning ticket, then they get to pick out one of the prizes that you can see up here on the board, including our shirts and the bags and the hats and the stuffed animals. And then and all of the profits from this go to the Belle River Michelle Drum Memorial Scholarship. And then even if they don't get a winning ticket, we created bookmarks for all the kids that they can use and take home and read with their Nims Island books.
Another event that takes place during March at Belle River is the Scholastic Book Fair. As with Nims Island, this book fair encourages literacy at home with their families. It fosters a love and excitement for reading. When they walk in and see that the book fair is about to be set up, you can see the excitement in their face. And I remember having a book fair when I was growing up and being super excited for brand new books. That goes along with our March's Reading Month. It includes a wide variety of books. I have a lot of boys in my fourth grade class that are really looking for those sports books, but I also have other students that are looking for the graphic novels. So it's just got a wide variety for all the students at our school, where all these things that they could just walk into the book fair and just be ignited with curiosity and imagination, and they might pick up a book that maybe they hadn't thought to read before, or an author or a genre that they haven't tried before. So that has created a lot of excitement this week at our school. Just like all of our March's Reading events, the book fair brings the school community together in a shared celebration of learning. The funds raised from the book fair go directly back into our school to support new educational resources and more books for our classrooms, libraries. And now let's get to our favorite part. Let's hear from the students about how much they enjoyed reading Nims Island this month.
I read my book with my mom and my sister and listen to the teachers read online. I read the book with my mom at night. My favorite character is Nim.
Why is Nim?
Because she's very adventurous. I like Fred because I like reptiles. My favorite is Fred because he's related to a crocodile, and reptiles are also related to dinosaurs. If I could have a pet from the book, I would pick Fred because he likes coconuts, and so do I. If I could have a pet from the book, it would be Fred too, because I like his skin and I like his name. My favorite part of Nims Island is when Jack goes to find plankton, because I like when he dives under the water and they use a lot of action words. My favorite part in Nims Island is when Selkie and all the other friends play soccer with the coconut. If I was able to live on an island, I would if my friends live there and there's no sharks. No, I wouldn't.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? That was awesome. That was wonderful.
Sounds like you might have to do it every month.
I would love that. I would love that. Book fair's going on right now, and it's a lot of fun. I get to be out there and enjoy hearing about all of the different books that they're enjoying and picking, and it's a fun month for us.
Looks like a great way to unite the kids and their families. Great job.
Thank you.
Really well done.
All right, we'll take a few minutes, so if there's anybody that would like to leave, can. Ready? All right, the next item on our agenda is the consent agenda, the approval of minutes from the regular Board of Education meeting, February 24, 2025, special Board of Education meeting, March 11th, 2025, special Board of Education meeting, March 14th, 2025, the approval of the payments of bills, financial statement, and schedule of investments. A motion is needed, please.
So moved.
Support. Are there any comments or questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. Departmental reports.
Good evening. As Mrs. Herr mentioned, we did have kindergarten roundup last week, not just at Belle River, but at all of our elementary schools. And we did have a great turnout. We had about 150 families that came out and were able to visit with the classrooms, look at our different offerings, and most importantly, enroll their little ones in young fives in kindergarten for next year. If those of you who might not have been able to make our registration last week, please feel free to come into our enrollment office, and we are there to accept enrollments anytime, spring, summer, and fall. So hopefully we'll have a lot of little ones in for the class of 2038. And as Mrs. Herr said, it was great. They were all so excited and just couldn't wait to start school, and trying to explain they've got a couple months still didn't quite go through, but they were all excited to be there. So thank you.
Good evening. I wanted to follow up with some summer school information. I mentioned it at the last meeting. So we've finalized the dates and the ages of students that these will be offered to. More information will come out from the buildings in the near future, but I wanted to get the dates out there. So our elementary STEAM camp, which is a really popular offering that we've run the last several years, will be open for current kindergarten through 6th grade students from June 23rd to June 27th, and that will be offered in the morning. Our elementary summer scholars camp, which is our invitation-only camp that students are invited to based off their work with our interventionists throughout the school year. That will be for current preschool students through 6th grade, starting on June 30th through July 31st. And then finally, our high school credit recovery summer school offering will be for current 9th through 12th graders, and that will run June 23rd through August 7th. Location-wise, we still have a couple details to hash out, but we'll get that information out pretty shortly. So I wanted to follow up with that. And then the other thing is, Mrs. Herr mentioned our on-site review process that we went through for Title I. Really all of our state and federal programs. We've been working with MDE over the last year, a little more than a year, on Title I, Title II, 3, 4, Section 31, Section 41, so all of the big money pieces that we get from the state and federal government. And as of last Thursday, we met the requirements for the on-site review process. So a huge thank you goes out to Robin Smith, her, and Mike Zimmer at Gearing and their teams who have done a really nice job of ensuring that our programs and our practices are at the standard that they need to be at. So, thank you.
Good evening, and a quick update from the business office. Last month I had shared that there is a proposed increase to our foundation allowance, which is great news. Proposed, of course, still. What has come out since then is we have increases to our retirement rates. So through MIPSers and ORS. So over the next week, I'm going to work on how that affects our group of employees and what those costs look like, and hope that the increase in retirement rates are offset by that foundation allowance increase. So, and then last but not least, the business office does work over spring break, and we're going to take that time. Every year, we review our standard operating procedures in preparation for our audit and make sure that we are compliant with updated board policy. So that is what we are going to spend our spring break on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a couple of things from operations. You may have noticed on your way in that there is kids out in the stadium. Spring sports have started, so that's exciting. It's always nice to see people back out there. That means winter's over. Secondly, we started this week draining the pool at St. Clair High, in preparation for the upcoming renovations there. So that's a good thing. Later this week, they should start building the scaffolding inside of the pool and the decking, which is required to be able to do all the ceiling work. They will be removing the old drop ceiling, opening up the rafters such like we did at Marine City. So looking forward to that. It turned out really nice, and we'll have that at both ends when it's complete.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I remember being in the high school in the 80s, you know, as my age gets older and older. I remember you used to have graduating year on your jackets. And I remember seeing 1990 going, wow, 1990. And now we're at 2038. I just think that's absolutely crazy. So a couple good things I just want to share that have been months in the making. We've had our scoreboard company build a couple things for us that we're getting installed this week. One is the video scoreboard at Marine City High School's gym. It was incomplete. There needed to be a truss that we were having built that arrived last week. They delivered it, and the installer actually installed it today. So if you are at Marine City High School, it makes a really nice, complete scoreboard system over there. Second thing we were waiting on that we're excited about, that we're supposed to get in on Wednesday, as I know St. Clair High School has been waiting for a new baseball scoreboard with a nice truss to go over top of it to replace their ancient scoreboard over there. So we're hoping to get that done this week. We as well, Miss Angie, are here over spring break. So we'll be doing some work at St. Clair High School, moving teachers into the new classrooms that were just built over there. So we're excited about getting that done.
Thank you. All right, the next item is committee reports. March 3rd, or go ahead, Suzanne.
It's okay, no, it's just a policy update. Board members, in front of you, you'll see you have the truant policy update for March 3rd, 2025. This is the Earned Sick Time Act that was withdrawn and now is coming back out with the amendments. So this is considered our first reading, and then if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to myself. I'll get those answers for you, and then at our next board meeting, we'll be voting and then taking action. Thank you.
All right, the next item is information and discussion bond 2020 update, general contractors, and I understand Ms. Bondi was not able to make it.
No, she won't be here this evening, sorry.
So the next item on our agenda is recognition of persons wishing to address the board. This portion of the agenda is for citizens to address any questions and comments to the board. The board will listen, take comments and questions under advisement, and not respond at this time. Presiding officer will refer questions to the superintendent for research and response. And we have, are there any others? So we have two people, Corey Vance.
Hello, my name's Corey Vance. So I don't like making public comments. It makes me nervous. So I always say that you can't go off script, but I think it's absolutely worth going off script for a moment to congratulate Jamie Haslam for raising an incredible young man who became an incredible athlete and became the St. Clair Wrestling Program's first state champion. This is a great honor for our community, for our wrestling families, and for you, Jamie and Chris. I don't think nobody deserves it more. Thank you guys so much for everything you do.
Thank you very much.
And then also before my prepared statement, I also wanted to go ahead and congratulate Sean. I had prepared a small statement for you Friday, but you weren't in the room at the time, unfortunately. So I just wanted to repeat that real quick. So Sean, I'm sure you understand that you are joining the school board during a very difficult time. I sincerely hope that you intend to serve the will of this community. I hope that you will serve this community with honesty, integrity, and transparency. Please use your voice and your vote to stand for what is right and never waver your own sense of morality. I wish you the utmost success in your new position, and Sean, thank you for volunteering your time to serve this community. As for today, throughout my comment today, I will be at times addressing Superintendent Cybula directly, and Mrs. Cybula, I would appreciate your full attention during my time to speak. Let me be the first, if not the only, to apologize to you for the treatment you have received from our community. I understand that you may feel hurt or offended by the words of some individuals, and for that I am sorry. However, it has appeared that you have turned your focus to the manner in which these individuals have expressed themselves to you rather than the content of their expression. Regardless of how anyone has made you feel, every single person in this room, in these schools, and in this community have the full right and reason to express themselves in any which way they so choose. In whatever way that may be, each and every one of their concerns are valid, and it is your obligation and your responsibility to hear, understand, respect, and ultimately act on the will of these people, no matter who they are or what you think of them. You must recognize that it is by your own actions, and in many cases inaction, that has brought about these strong emotions of the community. And it can be by your actions that you could start to bring closure and healing. Many community members in person at these public meetings, or in these meetings of public comment, via email, social media, petitions, and beyond, have called and demanded for your resignation. I believe that it's high time for you to very seriously consider these demands and resign. Create the space for new, competent, and capable leadership to have the chance to possibly repair what you have broken. A number of accusations have been made about your poor performance in your role as district superintendents, and you have insisted that the community's perception of you is false. You have had, and continue to have, more than ample opportunity to disprove or debunk the claims that have been made against you, yet you have failed to demonstrate any reason why the community should restore any trust or faith in you. If we are wrong, I am pleading with you to show us that we are so. I sincerely hope that we have been wrong, but I fear that we're not. And if we are not, I implore you to please have the dignity to take the loss, step down, and allow us to finally move on. As for the members of the Board of Education, you are elected officials and as such have both the duty and obligation to fairly represent your constituents. The people have clearly and consistently spoken. We demand new leadership in this district. If the superintendent refuses to step down, I call on you to fulfill a duty that you have been elected to uphold. Thank you for your time.
Kate Vance.
I didn't know that Corey stole my opener. So board members, speaking to you like this makes me very uncomfortable. It makes me nervous. Quite frankly, it scares me. But if I can do brave things, so must you. Now is the time to fulfill your promise to this community. Be brave, be bold, be defiant if you must. We will support you. As Desmond Tutu said, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. Do you stand with the students, teachers, and families of this district, or do you stand with the superintendent? I assure you, this community will remember which side you choose. Superintendent Saibula, I can confidently say that you have lost the trust and support of this district. An overwhelming majority agrees that there is no successful path forward with you as superintendent. You are the reason the bond didn't pass. And I'm willing to bet that it will continue to fail as long as you sit at that table. Resign. Resign now. If not, this fight will continue for the next 3 years. I promise you that the parents of East China will never relent. Resign and salvage what's left of your reputation. Resign and save East China School District an immeasurable amount of money. Resign and let us try to find someone capable of fixing your innumerable mistakes. Resign and end the nonstop embarrassment that our district feels with you at the helm. Resign and allow our students and staff to thrive again. Resign because I don't want to have to make public comments anymore.
Thank you. The next item is our action items. 2024, 2025. Wait, let me make sure I have this right. Where's my original? Sorry. Action items. January 29, 2025 through policy update. I need a motion, or per administration recommendation, the Board of Education approves January 29, 2025 through policy update as presented at the February 24, 2025 meeting. A motion is needed.
So moved.
I didn't know if we were doing any discussion.
Any,
Yep.
any discussion?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any?
Oh, I thought we would need the vote first.
Well, yes, somebody so moved.
Yep.
Support?
Well, I said discussion, but then it was, yes, sure.
Okay, all in favor, any comments or questions?
Yeah, I just had a question. I was just curious when, and it may have been in here and I just didn't quite get it, when complaints or grievances are brought up and whether they're substantiated or like this restorative process is used, like specifically if it's like an employee. Does that go into their file and it follows them, or is it just in like your file as the coordinator?
The investigation file would not be included in the personnel file, but if the investigation concludes that there's disciplinary action, that disciplinary letter may be included in the employee's file, but the investigation would not be included in the.
Okay. Is this, with the Title IX, is that across the board for all districts in Michigan? Or is this like just how Troon is advising us?
They're advising us based on law.
Okay, because I was just more curious, like when we would then hire someone, if there any action had been taken against them in a different district, would we ever know about that?
Not necessarily. We are required to conduct the background check, so we would contact their most recent employer for unprofessional conduct. But if, again, it wasn't included in that employee's personnel file, they would not release that to us.
Is there any way we can remedy that? Or is that like at the state level?
It was like the state level.
Okay, all right.
And there are some districts that will call, but without knowing for sure if there was anything, I wouldn't have access to that and wouldn't know the question.
Okay, all right. And then what about our process? Let's say during an investigation, it doesn't arise to like the sexual harassment, but it's some type of misconduct that maybe just, what kind of process do we have like for documentation there?
Again, the investigation would be conducted, and then we would document within the investigative file any recommendations or policies and procedures that may need to be changed in order to address it for future situations. But if the employee was not disciplined, then there would not be any, would not be included in the personnel file.
So just more discretion there as far as what's going on? Okay.
But if it was to rise to the level of any disciplinary action, even written reprimand, that would be included in the file.
Okay. Okay, those are just my two questions.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. We are adjourned.